Hello and welcome to the RetroMacCast with James and John, where in each episode we'll stroll down the Macintosh memory lane. We'll discuss older Macintosh computers, collecting all things related to the Mac and Apple computer, and current topics from the perspective that only a couple of old Mac fans can provide.
Look at you. You're in the
That's
backup
right.
studio.
That's right. Yes, my alternate recording location.
Yes, one of the perils of living in Florida is a failing air conditioner.
Yes, and since
I
it
am
was 100 degrees out today, where we are, I'm inside with air conditioning versus my Mac Attic, which is now an easy bake oven. So
do you know how hot
yes.
it did it maybe it is 100 already in your
Oh,
Mac
I'm
attic. I
sure.
don't
I'm
know.
sure it was. Yeah. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
went out this weekend. So anyway, here I
Well,
am.
hopefully that'll be
So
fixed soon and you'll be back. But you do have available there behind you
I have
a
to have
Mac running.
something, right? Yes.
Yeah, so very nice. Welcome everybody in the chat. Thanks for joining us again. Um, let's see what do we got going on. Well, let's go ahead and let's shoot this thing for real, huh?
Sounds good.
All right, let's go in three. Let me see if I got my stuff together here. All right, let's go in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Retro Maccast with James and John. This is episode 660 for August 28th, 2023. Good evening, John.
Good evening, James.
We were just telling the folks in the chat about John's relocation from Mac Attic to a room in the house that is
Yep.
cool because of
Yes.
failed air conditioner. I too am having air conditioner woes.
Oh
That's how
boy.
it goes. Not like a total shutdown, but a limping system. So, but it's bearable in here. Let's see. Last week we kind of left it hanging on what we were going to talk about, and sort of at the last minute, I found the answer.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, let's see. We had been tracking that auction of the Apple One. It finally did so last week. That was over at RR Auctions. And it just so happens that along with that were a whole host of other Apple-related memorabilia and prototypes. I mean, it's just like 50, 60, I don't know how many in total, but a lot of very significant things. Some that went for huge money.
Mm-hmm.
And we could do half a dozen shows on the details and all the things that were sold. But instead, we'll pack it into one episode and just kind of roll through some of the more significant things that sold.
Sounds
Sound
like
good?
a plan.
All
Yeah,
right.
let's do it.
All right. Well, before we get to that, let's come back with some eBay auctions. All right.
Oh, hello, Frodo Jedi, Trina, Eric's Edge, Slooby Malibu. What a great name. Let's see what else we have. We have K-Mac Vintage. Hello. And I believe I see Mike's Mac Shack. Trina, I wish I was in pajamas with cats right now. Not cats in pajamas. That would be weird. I've got
look.
5 cats myself.
Frodo Jedi did get that Macintosh 2X. I think Frodo Jedi
Fantastic.
bid on it, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Right?
Yeah, and it hasn't arrived yet. So fingers crossed it comes as it was pictured. All right, well let's get into those auctions before we
Sounds good.
start repeating ourselves. Let's go in 3, 2, 1. All right, let's look at those auctions from last week. We had it was a small collection of things that included most significantly 2 Apple blankets. There's also a notepad, and there's something else.
Oh, that's, yeah, when the
There was
note
something
cubes.
decal
Right?
or something. Yeah, note cube with some of the pages missing. Really, the blankets were the coolest things on that. And no bids because they wanted a starting bid of $1,000 for that. So they've relisted, and normally what you do is you lower the price.
You
Well,
normally, right?
not in this case. $1,000 is still the starting bid, or buy it now for $1,500. And then the Macintosh 2X, which got a bid here live on the podcast last week by Frodo Jedi in our audience. And guess what? Frodo Jedi got it for how much? $153.51. And after 3 bids, it hasn't arrived yet. Should arrive in a couple of days. So hopefully it looks as beautiful as it does in these pictures and
Yep. And I hope
survives the trip.
Fills us in
and then,
on.
And maybe with a little love, it will spring to life. One can hope, right?
Absolutely.
I think it's a bargain. Fingers crossed that everything works out. But I mean, $153 for just a beautiful 2X.
Absolutely.
So congrats on that. And the Apple credit, what do we call this? Like a sales kit or something for a salesperson? Include the stereo cassette player and the cassette, and that's about it. And a couple little stickers, little decals or something. That one's still available for a buy it now of $999.99, or you can make an offer. I'd love to have this. I'd love to listen to that tape, but I think I'd only offer like $100 or something, maybe $2. I don't think they'd be interested in that kind of offer. But
right.
You never know. Somebody offer them $100 just to see. Okay. This week, Macintosh Portable. This, you see the batteries. You see sometimes reconditioned batteries. Seldom do you see the battery with the original box.
Yeah.
Which I think would have been for a replacement battery, right? Because you probably would not, if you bought the Macintosh Portable, I don't think it came in this box, right? I don't think it would have had that separate packaging.
I don't know.
I could be wrong, but I believe this is like if you bought a second battery, this is how it would become packaged. And what I love about this with the packaging, and the theme kind of continues into the second auction we'll talk about, it's the artwork on that battery box.
Yes.
Right. It's consistent with that sort of abstract artwork that's on the portable box.
Yeah. It also comes with instructions on what you're supposed to do with the battery disposal instructions. Because that was like a lead acid battery, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do not puncture. Disassemble.
Do not disassemble. No disassemble. Don't mutilate it or incinerate it. And you can replace the worn out batteries to an authorized Apple service provider. You think they'll still take one of these? Yeah. See, it says contains
take it into the Apple.
Yeah, the
Genius,
Apple Store. Right. Drop that on the counter. It does say although the battery is sealed at the factory, leakage of a small amount of sulfuric acid electrolyte may occur if the battery is damaged by rough handling. Sulfuric acid can cause severe burns to the skin and eyes if contact is made with the damaged battery. Immediately wash the contact area with water for at least 5 minutes.
Void where prohibited. Operators are standing by.
That's unsettling. What else do we know? It just says design, a piece of history rarefied. It doesn't say. It just says the battery and box in great condition, well preserved. Original documentation, inserts, true gem. Nothing about the battery if it holds a charge or whatever. I mean, it hasn't exploded or anything, and it doesn't look like it's leaking any of that nasty.
And there are instructions out there for rebuilding these batteries too.
Yeah,
so putting new innards in there.
Yeah, but I like that it has the box with the insert. And it's
of course,
fairly decent condition. It's just great. They want a starting bid, I think, of a reasonable $125. with a buy it now of 165. So there are no
Nice.
bids on this right now.
Coming out of Hopkins,
Um,
Minnesota, home of MST3K, I believe.
but if you wanted to like really kit out your Macintosh portable display with all the official accessories, I think must have, you need that box on the shelf there with it. This ends in 5 days. Okay, what's next?
All right, next up, we have the Ultimate Collection of Apple Macintosh First Computer System. It's a 512K, so not the first, but hey, but also a printer and a scanner. All right, so first, the really cool thing I see on this is, first of all, it comes with a ThunderScan. Pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
It comes with the box for the carrying case, for the fabric carrying case.
See?
That's pretty darn cool. The Apple Image Writer box looks so out of place compared to the other ones that have the nice Picasso artwork
Right,
on
because
them.
it predated, right? It was Apple II, um, an Apple II accessory.
Yeah,
Originally,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you are getting all the bits and pieces that you would expect to find in the Mac box. It's got the nice plastic accessory case. It's got all the styrofoam is intact. Yeah, the image writer is the older style image writer, not the image writer 2. Very nice. What else can we say about this? The Mac itself. I'm trying to see if they have any pictures of it on.
They do.
I do.
Right
They do. Okay,
there.
great. Oh, yep. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, on and booted. So whatever discs it comes with, it is still booting. I see that this is a free local pickup from Ottawa, Ontario. Shipping, free economy shipping from outside U.S. I can't believe that. Well, maybe I can for the buy it now price they're asking. Buy it now,
Yeah.
$4,999 U.S. There is a make an offer.
Okay.
I'm not expecting they're going to come down much if they're hoping to get that much.
Yeah. What drew me to this is that you mentioned it first. That box, the one.
Yeah, the carrying case box.
case
Yeah,
came
had we
from.
seen that Picasso
We have
graphic before? Okay.
not very often. You've got the kind of stylized Picasso graphics showing the case. It's very abstract too. And yeah, I think that's the real prize in all this. Although I don't know how much it would actually
Not
be.
not for that much money.
$5,000, but there is a make an offer, and it is a very nice, very complete, very nice, all the accessories documented. I mean, it's just everything that you would have gotten, and a nice touch with the image writer, and it looks like everything is working. So you really couldn't ask for a nicer example of a 512.
Yeah.
Question is, are you going to pay $5,000? Probably not. But that's what the make an offer is for. Okay. And if you didn't know, today is the 60th anniversary of the I Have a Dream speech by Martin Luther King, Dr. Martin Luther King. And so I just happened to find this poster in eBay, and the title says Apple Computer 1 of 1 Grail item, Dr. Martin Luther King Think Different proof poster. And the description reads, for sale, historic vintage 1999 original 1 of 1 Grail of Apple computers. It's a Apple Think Different campaign printing proof. It was a rejection of the MLK poster, though. And it's been carefully stored in tube. It's 17.5 inches in length and 14.5 inches width, ready for framing. No. It says there's one tiny crease. It says 1 of 1 item. Once it is sold, there'll never be another one. And if you look at this person's list of what else they have many others that are like proofs and things that are kind of rare from different advertising campaigns. So if you're familiar with the Think Different campaign, they had many notable people. This would have been a great notable figure to have in the campaign. For whatever reason, they never used Dr. King in any of the official posters or advertising. So it's interesting that it was considered, but probably maybe they couldn't secure the rights. That's
Yeah.
probably
Sure.
my
Yeah.
guess.
Because I'm sure they would have had to have permission from the
Complications.
estate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if you look at the poster, you can see that it's the image itself is inset. There's a much larger border because there's some text at the bottom, which I don't know why there's a piece of paper stuck over the top, but it shows kind of some size information. I don't know if it's meant to cover up some sensitive information there, but I think it says Chiat Day. I think the advertising company is right underneath there.
Okay.
You can kind of see sense. It says, I think that says Day right there.
Yeah.
And let's look at some of the other pictures, just some different. Yeah. But really cool. How cool do you think they think it is? To buy it now is
very cool, obviously.
Astronomical $149,000, $999, nearly $150,000, which is
right,
pretty high. But there is a make an offer. What is this worth? You know, I mean, it's a poster, and it's a one of one, I guess. I kind of wonder about that photo. You know, you've seen a lot of historical photos of him, but I don't remember this photo.
Yeah.
And was that photo from? It wasn't from the speech. I think that was taken someplace else. It doesn't look familiar. The background.
That's not like because wasn't it in front of the Washington Monument?
Maybe it is.
Maybe it is.
Something about it looks like it's almost inside. Kind of
the lighting does look. Yeah.
Yeah.
The way yeah. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. So very interesting poster. A little steep, but go ahead. Feel free. Make an offer. Okay. Well.
Yeah, I have to agree with Scarlet Swordfish. That's one of the things I thought of is like, would have been a bit insensitive to be commercializing on Martin Luther King to sell computers. Yeah.
Did you notice in the chat as we were talking about auctions that Kate, the Macintosh librarian, wound up getting one of the
train?
Apple trains? Yes,
that's awesome.
I think there were like three of them listed last week. So maybe they'll make an appearance on the show. The train.
That would be
yeah. Okay. Let's look at all those cool things that sold over at our auction. Let's go in 3, 2. Oh, click another button and 1. Okay. Well, the Apple One at our auction finally did sell, and it sold for $223,520.
Wow, that's
which seems low.
Pretty low, yeah.
Don't you think? I mean,
yeah. Considering what on the high end they've gone for, right?
Close to $1 million or something. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I think at some point did it ever exceed $1 million? I can't remember that ever happening, but I think it was close to it. So yeah, this is definitely on the low side.
Right.
Kind of surprising, but okay. But more interesting than the Apple One were a whole bunch of other things that were sold. And so I was going to look through some of these things and we can chat about them. Starting off, this prototype Apple computer mouse from 1984. They estimated it was only going to be about $4,000. Wound up settling for $17,269.
Somebody's happy.
It was a legit prototype. Now look at the style, right? It's the Apple mouse.
Yeah.
That would have, for the 2E or whatever, you bought it as an accessory for your Apple 2E, I guess, that kind of style. But it's got the clear plastics that we know that would come with the prototypes. Really slick. I love the. It's funny how the colored.
No. I have to. I'm asking why do you say for the.
Well, maybe you can correct me. I mean, I know that
I assumed the original Mac, but I thought it was Yeah,
It's
that's the
kind of hard to tell
original.
from the clear colors.
No, I think because I mean
Is it?
it doesn't. I mean, so the 2E1. I mean, it wasn't that different, really. Um, you
It's a
know,
little different.
if you
I'd
look
almost have
at
to look at them side
here
by
you go.
side. I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the 2E1 actually was the same one that I think came with the 2C, which was very,
you're right.
very, very close. Just slightly,
I
the
stand
button was
corrected.
slightly
Yeah,
more.
it's the timing's got to be. It's got to be the original Mac mouse.
Okay,
Yeah. Although it's funny they don't say Macintosh mouse in the title.
they don't. Yeah.
Um, anyway, but it comes with a letter from the person that worked for Apple Computer back when they were doing the prototyping, and so there's a little story there. Um, really slick. I mean, come on. I mean, one of the earliest Apple mice. Although, well, and then it wonders, well, how does this fit into the timing of the Lisa mouse too? But it doesn't look like the Lisa mouse either.
No,
So
no, definitely doesn't look like the Lisa
definitely
mouse.
not the Lisa
But
mouse.
I think Scarlet Swordfish agrees with you that Apple II style.
That's
So
That's what for some reason it occurred to me that it had the slight angular differences made me
okay,
think Apple II, but um, it's hard to tell when it's clear like that. You don't get a real
that is
sense
true. That is true.
of the shape. Okay, let's see what else we got here. How
Yeah.
about an Apple IIe prototype logic board from 1981 sold for $7,155. You
Wow.
can see the different coloration there, and it still has all the printing in there. And then the story goes, it was a prototype logic board number 64 of approximately 100 known to be made, and it predates the 2E by 2 years. Developed primarily to stop clone makers from copying Apple's design.
Ha!
It's
Love it.
marked with the names of the designers.
Walt Brodner and John McPhee.
Yeah, very
Interesting.
slick.
It's fully populated too. It's not just. I mean, it's. I wonder. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's a
Oh,
2C prototype board.
Wait.
What?
Look up on the. Go back to that
What
one.
am
Look
I?
at the text on the upper left. Look on the prototype.
The
The
2E
Super
prototype?
2. Yeah.
Yeah, the Super 2 board.
The Super 2 board. Wow.
Yep.
That's kind of cool.
1981. That is cool. Um, all right. And then let's see. What else we got here? Lots of cool stuff. How about a sealed iPod Shuffle for $3,826? We talk about original iPods going for big money, but what about later iPods? Are they worth anything sealed? Apparently, yes.
Wow.
The first
Wow.
iPod Shuffle. We had talked about this one before. I kind of thought it was cool. I kind of thought it's a great idea for displaying a bunch of
Lots of little
miscellaneous.
things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I say little. This must be pretty good size because isn't that that belt buckle in the upper?
You know what? I think it's too small to be the belt buckle. It's some
Well,
other kind of
I'm having a hard
medallion.
time. Okay.
Yeah. So this is a framed shadow box. It's got tie tacks and pins and keychains and pens. Lots of stuff. It sold for $1,754, I think. Assemble
Pretty.
all that and all those things individually, and that's kind of a nice
And
thing
it's
to
so
have.
nicely displayed. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Very nice. Very nice.
This one. So John calls his room, the one that's currently 100 degrees, Mac Attic. Mine is the Macintosh office.
Ah, yes.
So I have this poster. Now I don't have the poster that's signed by the team, including Steve Jobs.
Holy cow.
This one, look at the signature. So right there above the laser writer, it says, "Let's make it happen together, Steve Jobs." And if you're not aware, Steve Jobs rarely signed anything. That's what makes these things so special. He rarely signed autographs. Like the things that he signed were, especially the things that, and you'll see later, the things that he signed were things that like he had to sign, like to cash a check or something like that, or to write a check. Otherwise, he rarely signed his name. And so there it is. And then along with a bunch of other people at the company at the time, showing the layout of the Macintosh Office, which also includes that really cool little
That
Apple
is
Wine box.
fantastic.
That sold for $16,638. Somebody that worked there at the time just said, "Hey, I'm not throwing that. I'll just keep that. That's cool." And hung it in his basement for all these years.
Wow.
Steve Jobs' next business card, $4,500. Picasso dealer sign, $1,500. There's an iPod Mini, the first iPod Mini sealed, $4,886.
Oh, that's crazy. Holy cow.
An iPod Nano, first generation Nano, $2,826. Wow. Let's see. We'll keep on scrolling here. And, here, speaking of rare Steve Jobs signatures, here's a 5-year service award for an employee who played a major role in the building of Apple's phenomenal success. So, there's a good picture here. Let's see. Oh, for Deborah Gritz. Congrats, Deborah Gritz. And a nice little poster and personally signed by the man, Steve Jobs. This one sold for $13,589. That's quite a nice little bonus there.
Well, what about this? And you're talking about Steve Jobs stuff. The Steve Jobs head.
This is the big thing I want to get to.
Annotated Atari horoscope, or the other one.
Well, all three of these are awesome. But let's look at this one. This is the Steve Jobs handwritten advertisement draft for the Apple I computer with rare Byte Shop Polaroids taken and annotated by Steve Jobs. So this is all his handwriting.
Wow.
This letter, and there's a long story here that talks about it, but essentially it was like a draft of an Apple I ad, the kind of the content that you would have in the Apple I. And, it says at the top, Apple Computer 1 uses a 6800, 6501, and 6502, and onboard memory, and expandable, and get that. It has all the cool stuff, board only plus manual, $75, a real deal. Signed, Stephen Jobs, 11161 Chris Drive, Los Altos, California, and his phone number. I wonder who's the phone number now. Should we call it? Yeah, so that letter on a piece of engineering paper sold for $175,759.
Oh, my
Unbelievable.
Gosh.
Unbelievable.
And so you have to wonder if it was just like one person that with deep pockets just buying all of this stuff, or
it's kind of curious. Yeah, who bought this?
Because if you have enough money to spend that much money on one of these things, you probably have enough money to buy most of these things.
Yeah, right. You wonder if that's going to show up in a museum somewhere, and that was not even signed. He just wrote his name, right?
The Macintosh librarian saw that letter at Vintage Computer Festival West. She saw that in real life. Yeah.
So before it was sold, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or after?
Well, I'm assuming before. I don't know
it must have been
when
before.
the West one was, but still, wow.
Interesting. And then Sloopy Malibu says they saw this next check for real someplace on display. It is a check written to Ramlor Incorporated, which was a printed circuit board maker. And this one's great because it was signed not only by Stephen Jobs, but by Stephen Wozniak.
Wow.
For $116.97, dated March 19th, 1976. So a cash check, and it sold for $135,000. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So a little bit more clarification. So I guess our auction actually had a table at Vintage Computer Festival West that the Macintosh librarian saw this at.
Oh.
So they had a table there.
Got it.
How
So they had
amazingly cool is that?
Yeah. I bet they're wondering.
Pretty cool.
What they're thinking later is like, we really didn't have enough security at that table. Because they thought that check would only sell for around $50,000, which is still a huge amount of money for a canceled check. Let's see. What else? Let's go to. Did you want to see this? The hand annotated Atari horoscope program
Oh,
right
just
back when?
yeah. Just I
What
mean,
is this thing?
pre. So we're talking Steve Jobs pre Apple. So this would have been when he was working at Atari.
Yeah,
An
1975.
AstroChart archive, copiously annotated by 20-year-old developer slash designer Steve Jobs. Oh, just it's cool that they had other than just Apple stuff. It was other, Steve Jobs. That was still obviously Apple adjacent, but it's amazing that this stuff. How old is this thing, right? I mean, that it was kept somewhere by someone.
Yeah,
Probably
so
not
smart to
Steve
keep that
Jobs,
around.
because I don't think he
No, no,
kept. He never looked
no,
back.
no, no. Somebody kept it. It's got all. I mean, it's got all kinds of wild details about, I guess, a program that was in work. Sold for $16,444. It's gosh, how many pages are there? Wow, crazy. Okay, let's keep going. How about just a typed letter signed to a student on starting in electronics, written in 1983, signed by Steve Jobs, sold for $16,000 on Apple letterhead. Look at this. He writes to Mr. Scott. He says, "Dear Scott, thanks for your letter. It's really great to hear from people who are as excited about our products as we are. Sounds like you've got some great ideas already. A lot of us didn't get started on electronics until we were much older than you are now, so you're off to quite a good start. I'm afraid I don't have any pictures to autograph. I hope this letter is sufficient. Keep up the good work. Steve Jobs." It's funny because so they somebody did ask for an autographed picture,
Hmm.
and they sent a letter and he autographed the letter. There's another famous letter we've talked about it, the one where
I love that one.
the one where he writes, well, I don't sign autographs. I'm
And
sorry,
then
I
he
can't,
signed it.
on your request, and
Yeah.
he signed the letter,
Yeah, that one's great.
classic. And it's on his letterhead, Stephen P. Jobs, chairman of the board, November 30th, 1983. So, pre-Macintosh introduction.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow,
Very neat stuff.
$16,865. There's some more Nick stuff, business cards, a Pixar business card sold for $3,200. A lot of miscellaneous things here. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that really stood out. Anything catch your eye? Just the other stuff, not too crazy.
Right,
There is that
right.
sealed iPhone sold for almost $56,000. And what else? How about a Tim Cook signed Apple iPhone 11 for $1,500? And everything else, nothing too spectacularly rare, but anyway, just a lot
Cool
of cool stuff. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, very cool. Way above my price range, but
Yes.
yeah, hopefully, like you were saying, somebody with the means the stuff can be shown someplace to the
I hope
public.
so. Yeah.
Although probably not. It's probably some, Silicon Valley billionaire, and it'll stick it on their desk or something like that, just for people to visit. All right. Well, that's cool that they were making the rounds with these things, so you could actually have eyes on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. We got a little bit of news, so let's just go into it right now. Okay. Just a couple of news things to mention. This first one, and I'm gonna show it here on the screen. First, you gotta. This is just, I love this.
So yeah,
The
flying
person behind this
toasters,
website,
old classic flying toasters.
yeah,
Right.
if you let the website go idle, it produces flying toasters, which is wonderful. But let me wake it up here. Joshua Stein writes about adding Wi-Fi to the Macintosh Portable. I'll read the beginning part. It says, over the past year or so, I've been working with other Blue SCSI developers to add Wi-Fi functionality to their open hardware SCSI device, enabling Wi-Fi support for old Macs and other vintage computers going back some 36 years. And there's a picture of his Macintosh Portable. in the yard, in the grass, browsing a Wikipedia article over Wi-Fi. And it turns out it's not as easy as you think. I don't think I thought it was easy, but there's a lot that goes into that to make that happen. And his website at jcs.org goes into all the details. A lot of hacking involved, not just hardware, but software and networking, and it requires quite a bit of skills. It's not exactly plug
It's
and
not
play.
plug and play, right? Yeah.
I would have liked it if you just plugged in like a Wi-Fi adapter into the ADB port, for example. So if you're so inclined, go to jcs.org and well, I mean, you don't even have to want to do it, but to see how it's done is just fun enough. And then I saw this video earlier. Sean from Action Retro showed off a couple of Macintosh TVs and a little repair of them, getting help from Steve, Mac84. Makes a cameo in this video. But it's on Action Retro's YouTube channel. It's a fun watch. I need some assistance with my Mac TV at some point. Remember didn't we turn it
That's
on
right.
here live on the show?
Live, right? Yep.
And
yep.
what did it do? It didn't burst into flame.
I can't remember if yours did anything.
I think it did. I think it hummed. I don't think. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't even remember. I'm looking at it over there, but
mine boots, but it needs a recap. I had to clean some of the gunk off of it from around the caps to get it to boot, but it does. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, that's Action Retro. The title of the video is I Found Two of Apple's Obscure Macintosh TV. Okay.
So if you could put the link to the the portable article into the chat. I can't on here. I'm not logged in on this particular browser.
Of course.
There we are.
All right. We can at least close the official part down. You ready to go?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let's go in 3, 2, 1. All right, that about wraps it up for another episode of the RetroMacCast. We will be on hiatus next week. It is the Labor Day weekend here in the States, and it happens to also coincide with John's annual pilgrimage to Dragon Con.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
So there are 2 holidays to celebrate. We celebrate here in Florida the departure of what we call the tourists. The tourists.
It's that window before the next round for the snowbirds.
Yeah, the snowbirds that's not even a big deal. That they
okay.
It's no way. It's not like the tourists that come in massive waves and just make it even difficult to get around down here. But they go home, so we get our beaches back, and it'll be great. So again, we're off next week, and then we'll be back the week after, I believe, right?
And we'll talk about something.
We'll talk about something, and hopefully we'll talk about it from the comfort of the Macintosh office and Mac Attic.
Mac Attic, yes, where I actually have some more lighting than I feel like it's very. You're probably wondering why I called you here today.
All right. Well, in a couple of weeks until then, remember, it's not old.
It's retro.
Okay. That's it. That's a wrap. We're done. I'm checking up here. There's in the comments. And
Labor Day in Canada land also.
Oh.
Very nice.
Everything is broken. Yeah, I guess we should know the history of Labor Day. Yeah. I just remember I don't have to work that day. That's
That's
what I
right.
remember.
That's it. That's the celebration
I do
right
not
there.
have to labor. I'm sure it traces back to some major labor reform, creation of the unions. I don't know. What's it
I
go
don't
back
know.
to? Somebody look that up. All right.
Well, yeah.
I guess
I think
we
that's
don't have anything
pretty much it.
else. Thanks
Thanks
again, everybody,
everyone
for
again
coming
as
by.
always for joining us. I really appreciate all the comments. I couldn't put comments up on the screen today because I'm not logged in, but I I do appreciate them.
All right. Well, see you in a couple of weeks, I hope. And
Yep.
we'll just go ahead and play a little music and stroll on out of here.
Thanks for listening to the RetroMacCast with James and John. Email listener comments and questions to retromaccast@gmail.com or post comments on our website at www.retromaccast.com.